Okay, and we are live. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Soul Food Book Club. We are so excited because today we get to meet the author of the book that we are just now cracking into, and that is called, whoops, it's disappearing, Enoughness by Allison Robertson. And Allison is here along with her mother. I'm so excited to for you to be here with us, Allison. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I was so when you popped up and I saw it, I was just so thrilled and so excited that you ladies are cracking into my book. It's just so thrilling for me.
So I would like for everyone that's here with us just to tell us who you are, where you are, and tell us if you have the book yet, or if you have the book, if you've opened it yet.
Well, I'm Jean Lorio, and I do not have the book yet. It comes tomorrow. So, of course, I don't have it yet. So I don't really know, but I do know that if Teri says it's worth reading, it's worth reading. So I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to be reading it.
It's in El Paso, Texas.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Oh, I keep forgetting to tell them that.
Sorry,
I'm not anywhere near the hurricanes.
Oh, good.
Thank God.
There.
Okay. Well, I'm Christina Leftwich, and I live in Michigan, about halfway between Kalamazoo and the Lake Michigan shore. So it's about 20 miles either way out in the country. I have not gotten your book yet. It's on order. I too have been told it's supposed to come in tomorrow. And I'm really looking forward to getting it. I agree with Jean. If Teri says it's a book to look at, then I'm going to look at it.
I am Linda Lemieux. I just got the book, so I haven't had a chance to start it, but I'll vote for Teri too. I'm anxious to jump in there and read it some. And it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And Linda's here in Florida.
Oh yes, Wellington, Florida, about an hour north of Teri for the next week.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm in Los Angeles. I am Allison's business partner, so I have the book and I've read it many times. And it is definitely worth cracking open.
Mom?
Hi, I'm Marie Robertson, and I too am in Los Angeles. And like Melissa, I've read the book many times, and I really appreciate that all of you are going to join that statement.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great to have you here. And we also have people that are watching us on Facebook. We have Stacy Small Lord, and we have Mucker and Wife, which I believe her name is Sherry, that's watching with us. And she's asking what book. It's called Enoughness. And I'm going to ask Allison if she will just talk about this book for a moment. I have opened it and I've read, I'm into the first chapter, but I know we all want to start discussing that first chapter next week. So I'm going to just ask Allison to talk about what we can expect to get from this book.
Sure. So I'm, here in Los Angeles, like my business partner, my mom said, and I originally grew up in New Jersey. I started off as a TV and film actress, which I still do. But about 10 years ago, I entered into the world of personal development. I came to personal development because as an actress, I was always seeking guidance and support. And once I had children, Melissa was my nanny. And she came to me and said, "Do you know that you are spending hours a day helping people?" And I said, "I am." And she said, "Yeah." and you're getting really good results. I think we should do something about this. And I said, I don't think that's how it works, but I think I need some training and some guidance and some education. And that's what I did. And our firm was born and our business was born. And then a few years later, I started writing down what we were doing. And someone said, you should write a book. And again, I said, I don't think that's how it works. I don't think you just write a book. But that's how it happened. And we started writing down everything anyone has ever taught me and how I believe things work and how I got people results. And that is how Enoughness was born. And one of the things about the book is that I believe that you can have what you want. And I believe that you have everything that you need right here, right now to start your journey. And I believe that we're walking around thinking that we need to lose 5 pounds, have $500 more in our bank account, get that some more help, that we need something more to start that journey. And I'm here to tell you, yes, I want you to have all those things, but you're enough right now to have anything that you want. And this book is hopefully the guide to that. It's the book I want you to read before you read any other self-help book, so that it sets up your mindset to be open to all those giants that are going to tell you how to do it. I didn't create self-help at all. It's the wheel I did not invent. I just took everything that I've learned throughout the years. I've studied with so many amazing people, so many of those giants. I got to be at their knees. And I just took everything I learned and put it in that book with a little twist of my own, along with some of my own stories, a lot of it from my parents, my grandparents. And I hope you're as inspired as others have been. And a lot of my clients have allowed me to use their stories also. But the biggest thing about the book is that I do believe everybody is enough right here, right now to start whatever journey, whatever dream they want.
Allison, do you have any suggestions for us? Like, should we keep a journal as we go through each chapter? What is your suggestion for us as we really delve into?
That's great. I'm so glad you asked that. First of all, we did write the book very specifically that you can, the chapters stand on their own. So you could truly go to chapter 8 and read it and understand it completely. Or you can read them in sequential order and they build on top of each other. Because that was one of the things, because I'm such a self-help junkie, is that so many times I would read self-help books and be frustrated and hear, well, here's the problem. And I'm like, yes, that's me. Okay, now what? And then I always felt a little lost, like, okay, now what? Now what do I do? So I really made sure that throughout the book, that each chapter you can feel pretty complete on. I give you sort of, I hate to say the problem, but the obstacle maybe you're experiencing. And then here's the solution. And I give an example of that. So a journal is always a great thing, because I do want you to be left with more of yourself than my book or my solutions, because I'm hoping that my book is just a reflection or a guidance to your own awakening, to your own embracing of your own solutions, because it's how I discovered myself or how I help clients or others. I just hope that it's just a reflection to you. So a journal would be an amazing thing. And one of the things you'll hear throughout my book is I'm a big proponent for gratitude. I believe gratitude takes us a majority of the way. So I would love that. And I also love partnership in my book. So the fact that you're book clubbing, I'm very excited to see what the results are or how you feel about it, actually.
Do any of you have questions or comments? And Melissa had typed into the chat that there is a companion journal, and she will provide the link for us in the group. If anyone's interested in doing that.
Yeah. There's also, on our website, there's also a PDF version of the book if you would like to add it to your Kindle. A free version of it if you'd like to add it to your Kindle, which if that way you can have it with you. We want the book to be so accessible to people. Like I said, when I wrote the book, I never literally, the reason I called the book Enoughness is because I was walking around thinking, who wants to hear my ideas? I mean, I think my ideas are good. I think my clients think my ideas are good, but why on earth would the world want to hear my ideas? And I wanted to speak more than anything. And people come to me and said, if you have a book, people will hire you to speak. And I thought, again, wow, this is just working backwards for me. Okay, so I write a book. Okay. I think you need to do more, have more education than just have an idea. But I wrote from a place of not feeling enough too. So as I wrote the book and experienced it, that word just kept coming up for me. Enough. Do I feel enough? And when I was looking for a title, because I live in Los Angeles and we are in Hollywood, and nothing is real here, and everybody's about titles and being superficial and how everything is presented. You know, of course, we went to a person who is known for creating titles. And she said to me, why did you write this? And I said, well, I want to help people. She goes, everyone wants to help people. Why did you do this? I said, well, I want people to know that I struggled with not being enough. And it's just, you know, it's my enoughness. And she said, well, there's your title and there's your movement. And that's how you will help people. And I said, enoughness? And she said, yeah, you're going to teach people that they are going to have enoughness. Is that a word? And she goes, I don't know, but it's now your word. And I went to Melissa and I self-published, but we worked with someone who helped us. And I like this demographic that we're talking to. And they were much younger. And I said, the title of my book is Enoughness. And they said, no, it's not. And I said, yes, it is. And they said, no, it's not. I said, yeah, it is. They said, no, it's complete. It's becoming. They said, enoughness. No one's going to buy enoughness. I said, yeah, I think so. He said, no, it's not marketable. And I said, but it's how I feel. It's my book. And it was so interesting that all along my journey to bring the book to you, how much I had to fight for my own feeling of being enough. And here were these young people telling me it's not marketable. No one will understand enough. People are just fighting back. And Melissa kept being my champion, my reflection of saying, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? And I had to really stand for what I believed in, which was not easy because I thought I needed some sort of degrees or something, or some sort of big, I don't know, I need to be from Harvard or something to write a book. That was my own nonsense, which you'll read in the book. So when I let the book be published and it came out, I thought, oh, by December, everyone will be using this as a doorstop and all of my friends and families will have purchased it. And oh Lord, I will be so embarrassed, right? I will have accomplished it. But so in October, when Forbes tapped it as one of the top 7 books to help you help yourself, that's when I realized that if you have something to say inside of you and you have a little tiny belief, and then someone in your world, like my Melissa, reflects back to you that it's a good idea, no matter what the rest of the world is saying, then you do that thing. Then you keep that person in your corner. And that, as you're going through the book, I'm asking you to look for those reflections. That reflection may be here in that book, in your book club. That person may be in your family. That person may be a stranger that you may, be becoming acquaintances with. But it only takes one reflection to show you your greatness. And the possibility could be endless. And I am a case in point in that situation. So as you're going throughout the book, please keep that little story of how this little book kept growing to now it's in your hands. So as you're reading it, please keep that in mind. If you have that idea or that thing you want to do, or that belief about yourself, it doesn't even have to be an idea or an opportunity. It could just be the thought of yourself, of how important that mindset is.
I love that. And I want to personally thank you for persevering.
Oh,
Because the title of the book really caught my attention. I had met you when we were together on a panel discussion, and you'd shared that you had the book. And I thought, wow, that sounds interesting and unique. So I looked at it and said, yeah, I think I want to get this. So I ordered it right away. And I just love the whole concept. And I'm a big proponent of the affirmations, self-affirmations. And the one that I really love is saying, I am enough. And I've shared many times, I'll share here, that I didn't hear that growing up. I never got that outside of myself, for somebody to say, you're enough, you're worthy, you deserve good stuff. So when I first heard those words, that I am enough, it was like lights went off. You just skyrocket when you finally get that message. Mm-hmm. So to be delving into a book that's all about our being enough, that's right down my alley.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really resonated with me as well. Just, I think with the current state of the world, there are things that are coming up, and I know we've talked about it in our book club and amongst several platforms. It's times like this when your footing isn't as sure maybe as what you thought it was, that it does bring stuff up. And I know for the last week, like I had gone from a high of feeling pretty put together and okay, and then maybe the last 4 or 5 days, it's just been, I've really been catching myself going back. When I was a child, my dad was pretty hard on me as a kid, as far as the words that he would say and how he would say it. And a lot of times it was things that would not make anyone feel like they were enough and or worthy. And so I've actually been doing some creative outlet just because I didn't want to put pressure on myself right now either. I feel almost fragile in a way right now. And so I'm like, you know what, let's do something. And what I wound up doing was making, I'm in with a holistic health center, and we're going to be having a community day. And what I was drawn to was making these little paper packets that we tuck our tea bags and our business card in to hand out to people. And then I put affirmations on the front of it. And the ones that I chose were things like, I am a spark of the divine, I am worthy, I am enough. And I'm like, my doing that, I realized that must be what is happening here. And like I said, it made me a little more aware, but what you're saying just totally resonates with me, because it does come down to, I'm not sure exactly where I'm going, which is okay with me. I'm a really good surfer of the waves. I'm really good at adapting. I'm there. I'm almost 50 years old. I've learned a thing or two along the way, and I'm okay with that. But like I said, with everything changing right now, it's just, it's so unusual from what I'm used to. And so I'm starting to, I thought I had dealt with this a while ago, and apparently not, because that old narrative of when I start thinking, well, what is my place going to be in all this? I'm hearing that negative talk again, going, oh, just like you were saying, nobody's going to want to hear. You don't have anything to offer. It's just you. What do you have that's, so I'm really looking forward to getting into this book, because like the enoughness, that I'm definitely struggling with that. And it's come as a great surprise to me, because I really thought I had it taken care of.
It is a shocking thing. Can I read just something to you out of the book of what you were saying? It's where the term enoughness comes from, exactly what you're saying, and it's on page 90 when you all get there. And it's a major step towards changing your mindset is reminding ourselves weekly, daily, and hourly that we have enough and that we are enough. This isn't always easy, especially if we set goals for ourselves that we have not yet to achieve. But to start from a place of enoughness allows us to view everything that comes after as the blessings that they are. So with what you're saying, it doesn't matter, right? And the reason those things are coming up for us is because I believe 5 months ago, we were all so busy. And that busy is a habit. And that habit keeps us from really feeling those uncomfortable, ugly, not so nice, unpleasant feelings. Well, now we are not busy anymore. We are now maybe more worried, a little more anxious, isolated, alone. So those things can now unearth. So instead of seeing it as something lives, like, oh gosh, or I always say the roller coaster, we're either click, 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 going up the roller coaster, or, going around. I say, okay, I have the time and the space. And now we can Zoom with each other. And now we're meeting each other, and we have these support systems that we've never, ever had before. So what I'm saying is, yes, okay to these blessings, and let's take a deep breath. And we're stronger than we think, especially us ladies. Sorry, men, but I'm not being sexist, but we are just a little stronger. And we can support each other, and you can face it, because I have a feeling it's going to expand you, right? Instead of being an I hope I can get through this. How about we get here to, yes, I'm in faith, and I am restful, and I'm open, right? So right. I agree with you. I mean, that's my long-winded explanation, but that's where I believe you're going, right?
Yeah. Yes.
We don't like Uncharted, man. We do not like it, but we are in it.
Like I said, I'm glad I'm adaptable, because if I didn't have that past experience to know that life is not always going to be what you expect, or pleasant, or on my schedule, Right. Yeah. So at least I do have that to remind myself, hey, you made it through this. This is just another one to ride out. Yeah.
What I was going to say was we just finished an excellent book. And that excellent book helped us kind of find out that we were enough, and now your book seems like it's going to be taking us to the next level, the level of, if I am enough, then I can go ahead and do all the things I've hoped to do, because I do have the strength. I am enough. And it sounds like you've had a lot of practical experience in that. And I think a lot of us who've not been that much in the business field and, theater or anything, need that kind of experience to help us to understand that. So I'm really looking forward to it. So I think it's amazing how it's kind of like we're being guided in a way. Okay, this was your first step. Now this is your second step. And who knows what the third one will be. This sounds like a really great second step to our journey, I think.
I'm honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, I agree, Jean. When we did The Return to Me was our first book as a book club that we worked on. And it was a workbook. We worked through a lot of deep stuff, uncovering it, and, you know, kicking it out of there. And I think we really learned a lot about the law of attraction in that book. And it brought us to here. It brought us to really understanding our worth and our worthiness. So I'm really looking forward to getting more into the book and seeing what's there for me. What growth is there?
Yeah, yeah. I think one of the concepts in the book for you to also, when you're reading it, is to remember, and you'll hear it in the beginning of the book, is I truly believe everything happens for us, not to us, because that is it. You're being active in your life as opposed to maybe victim. And that's sometimes a very tough concept for people to get, especially if they've had traumatic or hardships in their world. And I'm in no way taking that away or making light of it. But if you can really wrap your head around, this is happening for me, and how does it shape me and make me a strength as a person, and how do I build on that in my world? And all of us right now, with where we are sitting in the world and globally, as a humanity, how do we move forward, right? Because it's all happening for us, whether we like it or not. So how do we deal with it and create from here, no matter what?
I also think the law of attraction is attracting people to people. Like, I didn't know all of you before, and we keep meeting soul sisters and people that enrich our lives, and people having different opinions is wonderful because it brings up things that we might not have thought of for ourselves. And that's why I like books and the book club. So I appreciate all of you and the author and growing together. It's nice to have somebody to grow with, you know, to have friends.
I agree with you on that. It's such a unique time where because of us needing to slow down or not being able to do our quote unquote regular lives, we've had to search out in other ways. So now we're connecting with people that, you know, a year ago, would we have ever all connected? Maybe, probably not. And now we're getting to share our ideas in a way of now we really need to think. Now we really need to share our ideas. Now we as in humanity and compassion and empathy, we now need to say, wait, hold on. Do we think alike? Great. Where do we think differently? How can I help you? How can you serve me? How can we support each other? How do we grow? And it's okay if we have differences, but maybe your differences are going to influence me in a miraculous way, or maybe my differences are going to help you. And that's what I think is going to be invaluable moving forward, is that our differences are going to help influence each other. Our different educational backgrounds are going to help each other grow. And I think we've been afraid of that in the past, that we've needed to stick to our ideas. Only what I know is best, or what you know is best, or our differences separate us. And I think now our differences need to bring us together. And then all of a sudden we say, oh, like you said, soul sisters, we're alike. You know, I've been saying this concept since my book came out. And I've when I was first interviewing when the book came out, I always said, you know, the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. And I don't mean that because you have to be a mother. I just mean the feminine spirit. And I think there's something about the female right now that is much needed in this world, to remind everybody of their empathy and their compassion and their gratitude. I think kindness matters, and it's needed. You'll hear that throughout my book too. Sorry. You're going to hear that a lot.
Sorry, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. I think the feminine is coming out a lot since what has happened. The compassion, the feminine energy is what's been, I've noticed even in men. That sounded right, but anyway, that there's a compassion. There's something that's changing them more, not feminine, but the qualities of kindness and nurturing are passing into the male counterpart of our planet. And I think it's all meant to be. I think it's something we've needed, and I think it's something we've all meant to be. So, she moved, so I got scared. So, okay.
No, I'm giving myself a little power.
Thank you for speaking up. I think a lot of us have these feelings, and of course, like, we don't know you real well, but I still feel it takes some guts. Let's put it that way, to stand up and to publish a book and to help people and say, stop and look at yourself, and understand that you are enough, and that you can do all these things, and that we can only do it together, not separate in little pieces. So, okay, I'm sorry. I get off my soapbox.
No.
Jean, yes.
I agree with the more feminine aspect is definitely coming out. I noticed just raising my son, who's 20 now, but I feel like that generation is coming up with much more, they're just much more nurturing and kind, like right off the bat. I know we've talked about this too, though, that the crystal children, the rainbow children,
the indigo children,
children, there's all kinds of that coming through, but I've definitely noticed that in my son, that just some of the prior ideas of what a man should be, which is just kind of made up, and we've kind of made men, I feel that we've made men in the past be more like they're afraid to show that they have feelings and emotions. And that's what I'm seeing them bring to the table. Of course they have feelings and emotions. And I'm glad to see them much more free about bringing it forward and being okay with it.
I think that's the concept that when we know better, we do better. Maya Angelou, right? And I think that has a lot to do with the generations of mothers of now, right? They're teaching their sons differently. I think mothers are also teaching their daughters how to be different. So I think when we know better, we do better. So we're also letting people out of the box, right? We're trying desperately to shatter those glass ceilings for everybody. We're telling boys it's okay to have the feelings that they have. We're telling girls it's okay to have the strength that they have. We're trying to blur those lines. We're working as fast as we can, I believe. But I think these conversations are important. I hint at it in my book because I too am almost 50. I'm straddling that line of saying it. I will tell you, I'm a big proponent of Dr. Pat Allen. Melissa and I have done many courses with her. She's almost 90. She does a lot of work with the feminine male energy. She is not the greatest at how she says it, gang. I'm going to put that out there right now, okay? Don't come back to me on Facebook and be like, this woman is crazy. I know, okay? She has a way of saying it, but her scientific way that she says it about the feminine and masculine energies is spot on. You understand me? Spot on. Of how feminine and masculine energies, I did not say man and woman. I said feminine and masculine energies. It's different. studied her. Melissa and I have done so many workshops and done so many things with her. She's big here in Los Angeles. She taught me so much about understanding masculine and feminine energies, and therefore understanding men and women and how they work. And I think it's an important concept, especially in raising children, allowing people out of the boxes. We don't come out cookie cutter size, we don't come out one size fits all. So that is why I think we question whether we're enough. We question how we fit in the world. We just don't. We're a jigsaw puzzle, right? This piece doesn't always fit here, and we have to figure it out. And what we can't do is compare ourselves to others. And that's also what we have to teach each other, like who you are, Jean, who is enough, and you shouldn't compare yourself to anybody else. What is your superpower in the world? What is my superpower? And hopefully, I hope after you read the book, you figure out what your superpower is, right? What's your gift and what is your passion? And therefore bring it into the world and make it a better place.
Great. I'm ready.
Me too.
So I would love to hear from Melissa and Marie. I know you both are familiar with the book. What happened with you? Was there a transition that happened in reading through the book and gathering it?
Well, for me, working with Allison and Melissa, seeing the groundwork being laid for the book and being on the outside of it, I have a lot of their knowledge in my head. They studied it, I didn't. As probably the oldest person in the room at 75, I've seen many changes, ladies, many changes. And right now, what's happening to all of us, being confined, being together, being alone. Hold on. I got transported. Sorry, ladies. Hi. So I just feel that whatever is happening to us right now is an improvement. And along with being enough, you have to kind of remember that back when I was in school, 12 years of Catholic education, you didn't do anything right. Even if you did do it right, they were not going to give you any credit. And I think right now, being kind, letting people know they're doing the right thing, and being generous with your thoughts and your words, it's all needed. And as far as the men are concerned, I think they're they might be tired of trying to hold things up without showing any emotions. And as long as we are able to remember that they're people, they're people. So give them a little credit, give them a little praise, give each other a little praise, and really feel in your heart that you are enough. Even if no one's told you that, let me tell you right now, you are enough. And whatever happens next is a plus in your life. It's a blessing in your life. And I hope you all get to enjoy Allison's book and know that Melissa and Allison have gone to the extremes to try to help everybody. And I hope you find your enoughness when you finish this book. And maybe you'll let us know how your next workshop goes. Okay, I'm going to give my chair back to Allison. Nice talking to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Blessing.
Excuse me. For me, helping Allison get everything down on the page and really working through ideas. The one concept that I really, really love, and I use it every day, or I try to, sometimes I forget, is the stop and start again. Because I feel like, especially as a mom, sometimes I don't give myself that grace that if I make a mistake, I get to stop and start the day again. It doesn't affect everything. And it is in the book, but I just love the metaphor of even if you're on a diet, if you have a donut for breakfast, you just stop and start again. You don't go, okay, I'll start tomorrow. You just, it's okay. So you had a donut. Okay. So you blew up. Okay. So you lost your temper. You know, we're people, we're not perfect. So that's a concept that I try to like keep in mind every day, because especially now, the patience keeps getting thinner and thinner. So I am really just trying to live in that space of, you know, there's no, and again, it goes back to the concept of enoughness, that there's no perfect time. It just right now is it. So if something happens, you just stop and start again. It's not like, well, I got to wait a month or I have to. You just keep going, because, you know, nothing's going to set you up to do exactly what you want ever. You just have to go for it. And watching the people who've worked with Allison, like everyone who has seriously worked with her, they've gotten what they wanted. They've gotten to the level that they wanted and then kept going, you know, because it really is about that accountability and having someone just stand there with you and go, you can do this. You have what you need right now. And so I mean, I can't recommend it enough.
You know what? I do this all the time. What I especially enjoyed of the things that she said, well, she said a lot of things I've enjoyed, but one of them was gratitude. I do think that's something that we forget, we leave out. And gratitude can get you so far. You know, everybody wants to be appreciated for who they are and what they do. And I think that's really important that you put that in your book.
I will say, echoing what first of all, I appreciate you allowing my mother and my business partner to be here, to be my champions here with me today. I do, throughout the book, have many exercises for you to do, because I wanted you to be able to walk away with something in the book, like as if I was with you, as if I was speaking with you, as if you were on a call with me. And Melissa is correct about stop and start again. Some things are simple. The subtitle of the book is The Simple Truth of Embracing You. I wanted to make it simple. I feel like when we're going after our dreams, it's tough enough. I wanted to make it something that you could do instantly. One of the chapters in the book, my mother is one of the examples. And it's success versus bank account. And I really, I'm not going to give that away. I want you to really read that one. And I would love feedback on that, it's about her. And I think you will be inspired by it. And it'll, especially during this time. But as far as gratitude, especially now, I think keeping a gratitude journal, just writing down 3 to 5 things every day that you're grateful for is imperative right now, because I think we're losing track of time, because every day is kind of the same. And I think when you go back and see what you've done 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, what you're grateful for, it also reminds you of like, oh yeah, okay, I'm doing okay. Or it reminds you of where your mindset was, or it reminds you how far you've come, or wow, I've done a lot, or it just keeps track and helps you build to see I've come this far. And I think it's important to do it through gratitude, not only to mark time, but to see your growth. And it's a great way to keep that reminder. And there's a great app. There's great apps that are free too for your phone for that also.
Okay, great.
If I might add something, Allison, when we all went into lockdown, there's 6 of us here, and we have a giant mirror in our living room. And she put a Post-it pad and a pen, and she said, I want everyone to write something that they're grateful for every day. And our giant mirror is covered with gratitude from this family, and it does help. And it can be the smallest thing, as I'm grateful for a sunny day, to something profound. So gratitude has helped us all get through this.
I'll send a picture of that with the flowers so you can see it's really pretty. And I want to send it to Post-it notes. It's really funny. Yeah, it's all these Post-it notes all over the mirror.
What a great idea. I love that. And yeah, we'd love to see that picture.
Yeah.
Another thing that we can do in addition to what we're grateful for is who are we grateful for? And I love that. I actually have a book called Gratitude Base, and every day there's a line for you to write who you're grateful for.
I
And
love that.
go a step further and to tell them. And I've been doing this for 3 years now. I'll send out a message. I'm grateful for you. Doesn't even have to be an explanation. Just lifting somebody up and edifying them.
That's a great, I love that.
Yeah, gratitude changes everything. It really does.
Mhm.
In a very positive way.
I agree. I agree.
The last school I was in, the administration was trying to build more cooperation instead of competitiveness. And they had a gratitude wall for the teachers, and it would say, I appreciate Mrs. Lemieux because she helped me out in a meeting, or I appreciate Mrs. Smith because she gave me some advice, or I was having a hard morning and somebody smiled at me. And it was, you just tack them up there, and it makes you feel good too. And then you're more willing to be nice to other people. So it helps everybody, really.
Contagious.
Yes.
Yeah. That's to your feeling of and being enough.
Mm-hmm.
Enoughness.
Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to make a quick comment on Christina's talking about the 20-year-olds and the males. I think it's so cute when a woman is pregnant, the man says, we're pregnant, we're going to have a baby. And they take paternity leave, and they want to be with the children now, and they want to be at the childbirth, and they want to experience all that. And it's they're involved, and it's been the 20-year-olds and the fathers of that generation too. It's slowly started, and that spreads a lot too, and gives them more empathy and everybody else.
It's becoming the new normal.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
I mean, just to think of how many more dads are staying home and the moms, I mean, it was beginning to turn. When I was growing up, I was, the 80s, my mom worked out of the house, and my dad actually retired because he was a little older. But hey, we all have different family dynamics. But even then, it was starting to change, and now, honestly, I can name quite a few dads that are at home an equal amount where they're working together, or even some are just like, hey, I'm staying home with the kids, you go off and do your thing in a career. And I'm glad it's accepted now much more so.
For sure.
They can be real. I feel badly sometimes for the men because they haven't been allowed to be real. It's what you were saying about the feelings and not being allowed. Now they can come out and feel more comfortable about being able to come out that, yes, they do have feelings, and so it's got to be healthier for them as well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You said that the lady in LA is Pat Allen?
Dr. Pat Allen.
Dr. Pat Allen, okay.
Yeah. So I'm just going to say it out loud. She has a book that I recommend, and I know this is live, but here we go. She has a book called Getting to I Do. I'm so sorry. She wrote it in the 80s, probably when that's what women wanted to do, was get to I do. So I suggest to women that they take it and they just put some tape over the front cover. But because I don't know if that's what they want to do. I'm not saying that's their be all and end all. I'm sure that's what she wanted to do when she wrote it. But the science, again, did you hear me, ladies? The science in the book is very good. How she explains masculine and feminine. Melissa, do you want to chime in here on Dr. Pat Allen's book really quick?
It definitely, especially with some of the younger clients that Allison would recommend it, they would really, they would read things like literally and be like, oh my God, this is terrible. But it really does go into how just living in the space of the masculine and feminine, and that we all have both, that it's not one or the other, and that in order to really truly communicate with each other, it's about letting one come forward and one come back. And how do you do that? And how do you do it out in the world? And
honest,
I think that that's true. Like, no matter who you're communicating with or how you're communicating, even if it's two women or two men, there has to be that yin and yang going. And so sometimes you just have to be the one who's listening and the one who is, giving and
Lead.
she brings up a really valuable lesson in the book, that when she wrote the book in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, that women were going into the workforce and that they were coming in with strong masculine energy because they had to. Okay. But then they were coming home into the home with that same masculine energy. Okay. So it was causing problems in the home, right? So who was bringing the feminine energy? If you had two people out into the workforce bringing masculine energy back into the home, where was the feminine? And all she was asking for was in a partnership to discuss who's bringing the feminine energy. I'm not assigning it. I'm saying, are you going to discuss it? And then that a relationship, like any partnership, is a negotiation. And my younger clients have a hard time, I'm telling you right now, with this book, because of how she presents it. But if you go into YouTube, I'm sure she has some videos. She's quite the character. But I just love how she explains the masculine and feminine. And when you watch it, you just go, got it. And I use a lot of her concepts in my book too, because I just think she really understands it, because I love anything to do with science, to be honest.
Me too.
Because I think it gets us right to it. It cuts out anybody's opinions, and we start from there, and then you build your own belief on top of that. So I'm a big one for, let's build it from science and then place your own belief of how it works for you, place your own attitude on it, and then you can take an action. So I'm just going to start there. A lot of my book has science-based, and then I ask you to put your own belief and attitude on it.
I love that. This has been so good. I really appreciate you, Allison. Thank you for letting us see you and for being with us today. I'm so excited about getting into this book and the discussions that we are going to have. I already see it. I've got smoke coming from my ears because my brain is so fast. It's like
I wait, I hope you will tell me I'm an only child, so I want to know everything. I mean, clearly, look, I brought my whole family to the book club. I couldn't even come by myself.
More than welcome to come with us to be in the discussion. Yeah,
I would love. Well, I'll let you guys get started because I won't be able to be quiet.
Ladies, any questions or comments as we wrap up here today?
I think everything's been said.
Okay.
Just thank you, and looking forward to it.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Enjoy, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so excited. It's a pleasure. I'm very pleased to meet all of you.
Oh, we're pleased to meet you.
We're honored.
Thank you.
So we will sign off of here. Allison, I will get you the recording, and it is on YouTube. So if y'all want to share it with anybody and let them see what they could be getting into here with us on the book club, they can get your book and join in the conversation. And we'll be back next Wednesday at 1:00. Thank you all so much for being here. Bye.
Okay.
Everybody.